Good morning, everybody up and at 'em. So I have a couple things here that I want to show you guys this morning before we get started. So a few of you guys have told me that you can't afford to be buying so many greens. Look what I found. Okay, so here are the stats on these greens. 0 fats, 20 milligrams of sodium, that ain't shit. Carbohydrates are 4, dietary fibers 2. Remember, we don't even count the carbs for greens anyway. Protein's not high, but that's not what we eat greens for. There's 3.5 servings per this little can. This is only 15 ounces, 14 ounces. So by the time you drain all the juice out and just eat the greens, you're getting 3.5 servings of greens. You could do this twice a day, get 7 servings of greens from 2 little cans for about $1. That's not expensive. So keep that in mind for a way to do it. Black salt. Black salt, Kalamanuk is another name of this called. Very easy to get. I got this on, I got this one at an Asian store. You can find a lot of this kind of stuff at the Asian stores. And it was really inexpensive. And this right here has lasted me for months. So I haven't even had to open this, and I probably won't for months. Again, really inexpensive ways to do the things that we do. There's always going to be, I know the top of my head's cut off, but I want you guys to see the food more than I want you to see my amazing hairdo. Okay, so that's why. All right, so the very first thing on the list today was to make up some stir-fried mushrooms for our breakfast with our greens. By the way, I got to go out and pick my greens today. You have no idea how happy I am to be growing greens. Thrilled. So I've already got my pan getting ready here, and I've got a little tiny bit of avocado oil and a little tiny bit, well, it's actually not even a little tiny bit. I got a big old glob of vegan butter in here because I did it this way the other day and we loved them. So this is the way we're doing our mushrooms now, or at least for a while. So, hey, has anybody weighed yet? Do you see this? This is my smaller one of these chef coats, and I was putting it on, and it was going on so easy. I was thinking, this is usually just a little bit tight right through here, right? Because I just got this one because my other one's huge, and I thought, oh, I must be putting on the wrong one. So I took it off and went to get the other one. The other one looks like I've got my father's, like a little kid with his father's coat on. I was like, what? So I ran and jumped on the scales. Today's day 5. I'm down 5 more pounds. And I wasn't even really expecting to lose a lot because I'm already down towards maintenance. So, wow. I don't know about you guys. Hopefully you're tracking things. Hopefully you're doing what you should be doing. Okay, so I cut up most of my mushrooms, but I want to show you guys how I normally do the mushrooms when I'm feeling lazy. See these mushrooms? I just smash them like that. Nothing fancy. Okay, I have a blend of shiitake mushrooms because I love them, how chewy they are. I have my crimini mushrooms, and I have one left of these portobellos. I'm going to toss in here also. So, I am feeling really good this morning, can you tell? I've got some yard work I have to do today, but I don't have to drive anywhere, and a day that I don't have to drive off this this little hill and go anywhere, it's a good day for me. All right, look at all these wonderful mushrooms. And the second part of our meal today is also mushrooms. This is going to go with our tofu eggs. You'll have plenty left over. Plenty. I'm just going to dump all these up here in my frying pan. Oh, I want to put a little bit of garlic. I already have my garlic all minced up and ready. But that's going to go with my eggy meal later, so. A mushroom dish is so easy to cook because all you're really trying to do is get these mushrooms browned. Get them slightly cooked. You're not trying to cook the shit out of them. Okay, and I made myself some broth for splashing it in to keep them going when they get started. So hopefully... So apparently my cats come up here at nighttime. The cats get onto everything at nighttime, and they turn my strip off without me knowing it. And then half the time I'm sitting there waiting for this pan to heat. I'm like, what is going on? Because they've turned the strip off. One thing I hate about mushrooms is how they make such a mess when you chop them up. Okay, so I really hate the fact that we do these live, and the reason we do them live is so you guys can ask questions and stuff, and I can't see any of the questions. Oh, let me see though. I was going to log in on my phone to see if I could see if you guys say anything. I tried this the first day. Oh, there I am live. I don't want to hear myself. I just want to see if you guys put any messages on here that I need. Okay, so while we're waiting for these mushrooms, while we're waiting for the mushrooms to do what they should do, which is to start cooking, we're going to go ahead and move on to the cucumber salad that we're making. So here's my latest batch of, because you guys know I told you I made that batch of base with the hemp milk. Did not work. It was awful. Did not work at all. But I did get us some here. This is what we're going to use to make us a little sour creamy type thing. Hang on here a second. So let me grab. I don't have any pea milk in the house, all out in my other refrigerator, and I'm going to need a container. Shoot, I thought I had everything. Be right back. And just in case I need an extra dish, I'll just bring one now. You never know. Alright, so for the cucumber salad, I just have some white onions in here. Did you guys know that white onions are the least carb onion? Not that I really care about the onions and carbs either, or the carbs and onions either, but just saying. Okay, so you're just going to cut your cucumber any way you want it. I like fine chunks for this. I'm not a huge cucumber lover, but I will eat this kind of stuff. And I know cucumbers are really good for me, so I eat them. My husband and I were talking this morning about how he loves vegetables. He's always loved them ever since he was a kid, which is amazing. Sharon, I see that you're watching. Hi, Sharon. I've never liked vegetables, ever. But I eat them because I know they're good for me and because they do things like trim my figure down and get me where I wanted to be. Because there's magic in vegetables, whether we like them or not. So I'm just cutting these into chunks, as you can see. That's all we're doing with the cucumber salad. The cucumber salad, if you don't eat it all for your first meal, save it, add it to your second. There's always going to be some leftovers, guys. When there's leftovers, just add them to your other meals. You know, it keeps you from having to cook as much for the other meals. Right? Alright, so mix up your onions and your cucumbers. Give them a little bit of black pepper, a little tiny pinch of sea salt. I use Himalayan sea salt mostly, but I also have Malden sea salt, and I even have some of that, what's it called, the gray sea salt. It's kind of a wet sea salt. I can't remember. I'll get that out and show you one of these days. Okay, so then you're going to make some, what do you want to call this? Sour cream, I guess it's going to be kind of like it. Now this is a wetter thing that I normally make. I mean looser. And I've had it sit now for 2 days and it just did not want to get any drier for me. So I'm assuming that I used too much or not enough vinegar, which happens when I don't measure it out like I should. Where are you? Did you hear my cat? And so usually you have to whip this really good because it's nice and thick, but today I'm not going to have to whip it as much because it is not as thick as normal. And a little bit of lemon juice sets this off perfectly. The one thing I have is lemons. I always have a ton of lemons. Oh, mushrooms are starting to sound off. I smell the garlic cooking. Oh wow, my phone is behind like what it's showing. That's funny. Alright, so just add this to this. If you had vegan mayonnaise, you can put that in here. If you have vegan sour cream, you can put that in here. You do not have to use the base, but remember that is one of the ways we get our little bit of protein. I haven't been eating very much for my first meal of the day because I just don't seem to be hungry for that meal, and I do not believe in forcing myself to eat if I'm not hungry. I will not do that. So I'm getting way less food a day than I used to get, but I got plenty of energy. I still feel great. Hold on, my cat is into something. Jagger, down. Jagger, down. 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 Come on. No, no, not that way. Not that way. This way. Jagger, down. Go. Jeez. I think I'm going to have to start putting my kitties in the bedroom and close the door. I hate to do that to them, but they're not acting right, you know? Alright, so our second part for mill 1 is done. And have you guys noticed that some days you have bigger mill 1s, some days you have smaller mill 1s? That's because you don't want your body to have, you don't want to have the same thing every single day. Because your bodies can get used to anything and then they'll stop losing, they'll stop performing. They don't act right when you do that. So you want to have, like, some days you'll have a little piece of toast and some greens. Some days you'll have a stir fry. You know, it's always going to be a little bit different. Or some days you'll do like me and just fast through the first meal and not even have it. Oh, you guys, I wish you could smell this. I still think we need smell vision. Alright, let's splash a little bit of my broth in here. All my broth is some, it was the last of it, but I have these little cubes that I got at the Asian store of a faux veggie broth, or a faux beef broth. Anyway, that's what I'm using for that. Because even if you start it with oil and a little bit of butter or whatever, you're still going to need to be splashing in something to help them cook. Yummy. I love mushrooms, and I was so happy to see that so many of you guys love mushrooms, because I think I'd be kind of lost eating this way if I didn't like mushrooms. Mushrooms are a huge part of this for me. Huge. The greens are the biggest part. The lemons and the avocados are the main parts with the greens. But, I mean, mushrooms, at least is something I like. Okay? I don't like a lot of the vegetables, but I love the mushrooms. We were talking this morning, I said, I love herbs. I love fresh herbs out of the garden. Thyme and rosemary and cilantro, parsley, basil, however you guys say it. I love all that kind of stuff, right? But as far as like, my garden is so big now with so many greens. Like I went out and picked the greens this morning and stuff. And I love being able to pick them out of my garden, and I love eating the ones I grow myself, but I still don't love the taste of them. So, which is why I've come up with a lot of interesting ways to cook them, like with the fake and bacon bits that I can buy at Winco in the bulk section, and there's no animal products in them. And I love my greens fried up with a little... What are you doing? Oh, he's never done that. Stop it. Anyway, wow, bad kitty. Bad kitty. You need to go find something to do. You're going to get yourself in trouble. No. Anyway, so sorry. I don't know what's wrong with him today. I like them fried up, my greens fried up with a little bit of bacon bits, some garlic, a little bit of avocado oil in there, and salt and pepper. Perfect. Perfect. Of course, with your lemon juice. Okay, that's it. I'm not cooking my mushrooms any more than this because I don't want them cooked to death. That's it. Just browned them and cooked them. All done. All right. On to our next meal. That's all done. So for your next meal, you're going to have some onions, some peppers, and some garlic. Get off the garlic. Okay, we're going to get that to fry in this pan. A little tiny bit of avocado oil again. When I say tiny amounts, I mean tiny, guys. I always pour it in the cap first so I don't overdo it accidentally. Okay, now we're making our scrambled eggs. So you got to cook these pretty good, because when you're making the scrambled eggs out of your tahini or your tofu tahini, I don't know where that came from. You don't want the hardness of the vegetables to tear the tahini up even more, so get the vegetables cooked first. I can't wait until next week's menu, you guys. I changed the menu slightly to add on some, what I feel like are just a little bit more interesting meals, with a little more flavor. So yeah, I'm looking forward to next week. Hi Sharon, looks like you're the only one on here today. Hopefully everybody else will come in and watch later. It's not like in our first boot camp when everybody couldn't wait to get on here, huh? All right, so I don't cut my tofu when I'm going to do the scramble because it doesn't look like scrambled eggs if you cut it up into forms, right? So I just tear it apart to where it would look like a scramble, like that. You know, chunky scrambled egg looking pieces. And you're going to have your black salt, which is going to give the egg flavor, your turmeric, which is just healthy for you, plus it's going to give you the color, a little bit of garlic powder because garlic tastes good in everything, and your salt and pepper. That will be the main things you have in here. You know, you guys, here's the thing. In our first round, it did not go as quick as it's going in our second round. We were figuring it out by the seat of our pants. We did not know everything we were going to need. We didn't have it set up like this. And our setup was nothing like this. I was cooking on the stove, standing over here, pressed up like this, and the camera angle came in at the side right here, so you could only just see a strip of what I was doing. So my husband loved that, man. We had ordered a little movable island thing that I could use in here, and it showed up, and it was this little bitty skinny. There wasn't no work. Plus, it showed up without all the parts. So we ended up sending that back, and he took a cart, and he made this top thing for me, and then he put on this piece of plexiglass so that I could put things under it if I want to. It's amazing. It's amazing. I can just move it out of the way during the day and then move it back when I need to use it. But it's so perfect because everything's right here. You guys can see everything I'm doing. The refrigerator's right here if I need anything. The only thing that's not right here, if I needed it, would be the air fryer, but it's right there. It's really close. So yeah, you guys got the better setup. Better able to watch it. Good morning. I'm not in the middle of a meltdown today, so I'm doing better. It's really hard for me sometimes when I see people in our group struggling so hard, and I think, oh, they don't have to struggle this hard. This really is not that hard, and you really don't have to struggle with it if you're willing to eat the greens, whether you're eating canned greens, whether you're eating fresh greens. If you're willing to eat the greens, whether you like them or not. You know, I know some of you don't like them. Smother them with something. If you don't like the lemon juice, try lime juice. If you don't like the lime or lemon, use that and add on the homemade ranch I showed you guys how to use. Like I said, cook them up with some bacon and some butter or whatever makes them taste good. If none of that's working, you can always put them in a blender, make them like a smoothie, throw some berries and protein and stuff like that. Oh, that just sounds horrid to me. Oh, God. Sorry. That just sounds awful. But you could do that. Ugh. I don't know why this thing shuts off every time it starts cooking really good. It starts shutting down. I don't get why it does that. I've never used one of these little induction burners, so my husband bought this for me last time too, hoping that it would make things simpler. Okay. Is it off? On? What's happening here? Okay, the light's on. I don't know why it's cooking so slow, so hopefully this will pick up some speed during a minute. Ow, that was hot. Okay, so it is cooking because it's hot. I don't want to break this all up on this because it's going to be too hard to pick it up and get it off of here. I'll break up this piece here. You quiet today? You're tired today? I'm sorry. Yeah, it is. It's definitely temperature regulated, I think, Sharon. Definitely. There we go. All right. Now it's cooking. Everything's starting to get softened up. I can see the onions are getting a little translucent. That's kind of what I watch for, the onions to start getting a little translucent. The peppers, I think if I was smart, I would probably cook the peppers for a few minutes first and throw the garlic in last. That's probably how I would do it if I was really, really intelligent. Alright, so we're going to start throwing our tofu in here. like I said, just make chunks out of it. You want it to kind of look like scrambled eggs when you're done. You guys do have to have kind of dry tofu for this. You can't just open up a wet pack and throw this in here like this. It will not cook like this. So what I did was I wrapped mine up in paper towels last night, put it back in the fridge in a bowl, took it out this morning, took off the wet paper towels, wrapped it in paper towels again, and waited for time to do this. And it's perfect. You don't have to get fancy with it. You don't have to press it every time. Okay, after you get it a little bit heated through here, the reason I don't add my spices right away is for a couple reasons. I want to get this heated up a little bit because, first of all, it'll take the spice into it easier that way. And this gives me the opportunity to make sure that all the pieces have gotten a little bit of heat on them. If you add all your spices, you can't really tell what's been heated and what hasn't. You don't have to cook tofu because it's already kind of a cooked product. I mean, lots of people eat it as is. But you do want to heat it through for a dish like this. Okay, so got our black salt. Now last time I way overdid it on the black salt. So this time I got this little baby spoon. We're going to way underdid it and then I'll taste it. Okay, that is not even it might be a quarter of a teaspoon, but I'm pretty sure that that's all we want. But I'm going to add probably half a teaspoon of turmeric. And probably more, because I don't know if that's going to give it enough color. Well, maybe. Oh, it smells like scrambled eggs. The minute you put the black salt in there and start mixing it around, it smells just like scrambled eggs. You have a little black pepper in here. Okay, that was a lot. It's okay because I love pepper. Now this actually looks good. I can't wait for dinner. Or meal tea, or whatever you want to call it. How are you guys doing on your meal timing? How's everybody doing with that? I wish you guys would check in and let me know how your meal timings work. What are your meal times? Are you eating during the day? Are you eating in the evenings? Have you guys weighed in at all? Have you lost weight, gained weight, holding your own? I mean, it helps if I have information, you guys. It helps me help you. When I don't have information, I just don't know what I'm working with there. You know? I don't know what struggles you're having if you're not sharing them. Give yourself a little bit of moisture when you need it. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Scrambled eggs. Turn that thing off. That's it. So, that's how simple it is to eat like this. That's how simple it is to make these meals, to do these things. I mean, I know a lot of you think that this is a lot of prepping and a lot of work, but if you don't like all the prep, canned greens. I got to show you guys these giant olives I found. Now this says that a serving, I was cracking up, 2 olives is a serving for 2 grams of fat. I would eat 5 of them. I just would. I will. That's what I plan on, so just saying. Alright guys, we're done. Today's done. Hope you guys enjoy it. Ciao.